So for anyone that is interested in due diligence when it comes to stocks, you know that there's something called insider ownership and insider transactions. Now, what is that exactly? Insiders are higher ups at a company like the CEO, CFO, directors, people that work directly with the company, and they likely have key information. They have been held privy to certain knowledge that others outside the company don't have. And so when a company has this private knowledge, but it has not been yet made public, you can't technically trade off of that. That's called insider trading. And so if you've ever heard of someone in a company asking their brother or their husband to go make trades on their behalf because they know some key knowledge and they get in trouble for that, that's illegal. Think of Martha Stewart back in the day. She got arrested for that. Of course, if you're a politician, you kind of get away scotch-free. I mean, the SEC doesn't crack down on politicians for some reason. If anything, they don't even get a slap on the wrist. They get like a traffic ticket, basically, and they make millions. But that's a video for another time. And actually, before I go and I show you exactly where to find insider ownership and where to find insider transactions, because it could tell you a lot about a company. If the ship has clipped an iceberg, even though the insiders, they're not technically supposed to trade off of that, they're going to put life jackets on their money and they're slowly going to exercise their options and shimmy it offshore. And that is something that you can see because the SEC requires companies to report on insider ownership of buying or selling stock. And the SEC, and I'll get into it a little bit later in the video, I'll show you where to access it. They actually have a really, really nifty database where you can go and read all the filings. It's called SEC EDGAR data. And I will jump into that in a brief second. I also want to give a shout out to whoever sent me this shirt. It was my birthday recently. And for those that don't know, when I started this channel, especially when I started talking about stocks, I called it the Bulls, the Bears, and the Bats. It was around the pandemic time. And so someone sent me this Batman shirt and they put a note in there about the Bulls, the Bears, and the Bats. So whoever you are, mystery fella or woman, thank you so much. I'm wearing it. I'm sporting it. I appreciate you. It was anonymous. They didn't leave a name, but I appreciate it all the same. So higher insider ownership. What exactly does it mean? Well, it's good to see that there is insider ownership in a company because that means that they have confidence and incentive to go ahead and maximize shareholder value, right? Because there is insider ownership, so they own stock just like us investors, and they want to do right by the company so that the share price goes up, shareholders are happy, they keep investing, and then the stock of whatever they own goes up. And so that's kind of obvious from a logical standpoint, right? Like management is incentivized to make the company better and to increase shareholder value. However, too much insider ownership can mean that there's too much insider control and there's voting rights issue associated with that. Remember, there's different class of stocks, but that's again for another video. But if the management team owns way too much and has insider control, they may be inclined to help themselves rather than the shareholders when it comes to making important decisions about the company. Now, something to look out for is people sell shares for all sorts of reasons, right? If you're a director in a company, you don't know their situation. Maybe their son has a bad habit and he's in jail and needs to be bailed out, or they're just like a drunken sailor with their money. And so sometimes they need to sell shares in order to prepare for the tax bill or in order to cover some large loans that they took out, right? But what you really want to look out for is the C-suite, the CEO, the CFO, because these people, they usually don't just sell for no reason. Now, of course, there's always a reason behind it. Like Adam Aron of AMC, he came out, he sold a tremendous amount of shares, and he said, oh, I'm doing it because I'm prepping for retirement, right? Elon Musk sold a lot of shares of Tesla. He said, I'm doing this because I have to pay a giant tax bill this year, and I need to sell in order to pay it because he doesn't have that money in his bank account, which makes total sense. So it's important to take everything with a grain of salt. If you see that the CEO, CFO, they're all selling, it's not a good sign. Now, if you're seeing an insider ownership, and I'm going to show you the resources where you could look that up, if you're seeing a lot of buying, that's actually really, really good. That means that they believe that at current prices, it is worth putting some money in because it's going to grow in the future. And conversely, if you see a lot of selling and it's only sell, sell, sell by directors, C-suite, even if it's small amounts, if it's only sale, that's not really a good sign. So that's something to take into account. Now, also remember, it is very situational. It varies company to company, situation to situation, because sometimes some trading activity, it may actually be under the director or CFO's name, but there's a third party handling it. And a lot of directors and C-suite people, they do that so that they can avoid legal issues because they say, no, I actually handed my money over to this trust, which trades for me. It is not me making these decisions. But again, there's a big, big gray area between insider trading and insider transactions, I would say, because you don't really know the true motivation behind it. But if we were to believe that everyone has good morals and ethics, then insider activity is helpful for the investor to just see what the sentiments of the team that is closest to the project, closest to the company, what their sentiments are. Are they bullish or are they bearish on the company moving forward? And so with that being said, let's dive into the meat and potatoes of the video. All right, so the first resource I want to show you is Gurufocus.com. So you can simply navigate to it. You type in any ticker. So I typed in ticker symbol Tesla, TSLA, and over here you get a plethora of information that has to do with insider transactions. So over here you could see how they sold, how many shares, the shares owned, at what price, the trade percentage, how much they still own. So there's a lot of helpful information here, and if you're curious on how they obtain it, it's because these insider transactions have to be filed through the SEC. Now, if you're a bit of a more advanced trader and you're really into this stuff, then you can go straight to the source, sec.gov/EDGAR. That's the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. And there's certain forms that you can search for, and you will be able to see the insider transactions. But for me personally, what I recommend is to just use Gurufocus or use your trading platform, and I'll show you that in a second. But as we can see here, like if we type AMC, a lot of noise has been made about Adam Aron selling a lot of stock, and you can see it right here. And when did this happen? January 12th, 2022. So this resource, it's very updated. Some people recommend Yahoo Finance, but I find that the filing dates are lagging behind, so they don't update it as often as a resource like this. And again, if you're already using a trading platform, so in my case, that trading platform is E-Trade. I've used it for a long time. I'm happy with it. I believe Morgan Stanley is a part of it now. Now, it doesn't matter which trading platform you use. I'm not like one of these other channels. I'm not selling you on anything. You don't have to use my referral code or anything like that. So what I do want to point out is that these trading platforms, they have a lot of resources because they want you to be able to do research, to use their platform, and to make a lot of trades, buy a lot of options, do all these things so they can profit from it, so they can have more users on their platform. And so E-Trade does a great job here, actually. For instance, I searched for Tesla, and I could go to insider activity. I could also look at ownership, and there's a whole lot of data here. And as you might have heard in the news, if you follow Tesla closely, Elon Musk has exercised options. He has sold stock so that he could pay his huge tax bill, and you could see this all over here with the dates. And again, this resource, very up to date versus something like Yahoo Finance, I find. If you know of a better resource, please mention it in the comment section. So I really do appreciate you guys sticking around to the very end. Your attention span's a lot better than mine. Now, I love throwing in these due diligence videos once in a while, some tutorials. Let me know if you want me to keep doing that or if you prefer me to just chase the hot topics. I'm here to make investing more fun. I'm here to educate myself. I'm here to grow this community. I don't know what it'll turn into, but I'm excited about the fact that the subscribers, they're growing rapidly. And so it's full steam ahead, parallel to the daytime work of Promo Ambitions, the nighttime photography work. I'm going to keep this investment channel going. We're going to talk crypto, options trading strategies, stocks. And so let me know what you wish for me to cover next, and I will see you guys in the next video.